Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. We've got a very special guest on today. I'm sure everybody knows who it is. He was on 3 months ago telling us everybody about how Manchester United were in love with Jadon Sancho. And we're going to be talking about transfers and what Fabrizio's been up to, because I don't think he sleeps. I was up late last night watching the basketball, and he was tweeting then, and then I got up and he was tweeting about 3 hours after. So I don't think he sleeps. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, but I don't.
How are you doing, Fabrizio? It's great to have you on the channel again.
Thank you again. It's a big pleasure to be with you as always, and I'm okay. Thank you. Not sleeping, but okay.
Yeah, busy time. Let's start. Look, I know everybody, even though we're recording this, it's not live. I know everyone's screaming at the screen, asking what's going on with Jadon Sancho, because it's, as things stand at the moment, your updates have been very clear, but even today's been a little bit quiet. But we had a German outlet saying United won't be able to afford 120 million euros. We had Bild, I think late last night, saying a deal is imminent for Jadon Sancho. You've said that the personal terms are done, but talks continue. What's your latest on the Jadon Sancho as we are today on Thursday lunchtime?
I think it's normal at the moment to say that's a quiet situation because the clubs are in talks. I can confirm this apart what Borussia Dortmund board said yesterday night, because it's normal. I think Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund are playing their own games. So it's normal. Manchester United are thinking to pay less than Borussia Dortmund ask. And it's a question of add-ons. It's a question of also installments, how many years to pay the player. So they are in talks. Borussia Dortmund are in talks with Manchester United. The player, as I told you, is absolutely happy to join Manchester United if the deal will be completed, and Jadon Sancho has agreed personal terms with Manchester United for 5 years, so his contract is almost ready. Now it's up to the clubs, and as I said, I don't think in this exact moment is imminent, because the clubs are speaking, the clubs are in talks to find a final agreement about Jadon Sancho. As I told you, at the moment, the problem is about add-ons and about installments, because Borussia Dortmund want the money immediately, want the money in this moment because they need to find a replacement. It's not an easy summer, as you know, after the coronavirus. They need to be quickly to find another player like Memphis Depay, like Jeremy Boga. They have many options, so they are considering the replacement for Jadon Sancho, but at the moment they are absolutely in talks with Manchester United. We will see what will happen. I think it needs some days more, because the clubs are speaking, they are trying to find the final agreement, but when Borussia Dortmund board say we are not in talks, there is not any bid, this is obviously this is a joke, this is a game, because Manchester United are saying okay, we can move away from the deal, as Borussia Dortmund can say we are not in talks. It's normal. They are playing their own game, but at the moment the clubs are in talks. The player is ready to join Manchester United. Let's see if the two clubs will find a final agreement, because at the moment, in this moment, the agreement is not totally completed. They are still in talks.
You obviously have done this many years, very well respected. There are Michael Zorg last night saying he may well be here next season. The night before, we know for a fact it was a briefing from Manchester United to the British press that step back a little bit. Why do you, I mean, you get your information and we know it's very good, but why do you think the clubs are doing that? So are they trying to goad each other to, is it about getting what they want, or is it threats? Is it all part of the game?
I think they have their reasons, and I understand the clubs. Absolutely, I respect what the clubs say. It's normal. I am not doing any war with the English press, with Manchester United board. No, absolutely no. It's not my interest. I think it's normal. They have their reasons because it's true. It was feeling between the fans, I say, like the deal was done and was completed, and they were going to announce the player in 1 day or 2 days, and it was not right, because the agreement was not finalized. There was nothing agreed in total way. So it's normal that Manchester United said, okay, keep calm, we are still in talks. We don't want to pay 120 million euro immediately to Borussia Dortmund, because it's normal after the coronavirus. They want to have talks, to take their time, and to try to pay a lower fee. So it's absolutely normal. At the same moment, Borussia Dortmund say, if you want a player, you have to pay. Now I think it's normal. When you speak about top transfers, I remember, for example, Pogba to Manchester United. We had 2 months speaking about the deal, and with Juventus who asked some money, and Manchester United made 3 different bids. So when you go for top players, and the same for Bruno, you remember better than me that we had 6 months speaking about this kind of deal because it was so complicated. In summer was closed, then they changed their mind. In January was again they saying, okay, we are not going to sign Bruno, and then 10 days later they signed him. So it's normal when you go for top players like Jadon Sancho. You need time, and also the clubs have to play their own games, as I said, to say, okay, we are not more going on him, we are going on other options. But at the moment, Manchester United have always Jadon Sancho as their target, as their priority. So that's the situation right now. Then we will see if they will find the final agreement with Borussia Dortmund.
We saw I think it was on Sunday night, there was this talk of this, and I think Jan Arge Fjortoft actually just tweeted it yesterday, 70, 30, 20. So like 70 million euro, 30 million euro next summer, and then 20 afterwards. There seems to be a lot of talk about that. That to me seems quite reasonable. I know when you were on 3 months ago, you felt that it would be around 100 million euro, maybe as a 90 million sort of outlay. Do you think that's going to be what the final bit really is? Really, it's about these installments, like you said, because that sounds reasonable. Dortmund get what they want, and I think 70, 30, 20 works quite well for United over 2 years.
Yes. I think it's possible. It will be, if the deal will be completed, it will be a bit more immediately to Borussia Dortmund, not 17, I think around 18 and 80 and something more is possible, because I don't know, because in this moment they are speaking, they are talking, so I'm not working for Borussia Dortmund or for Manchester United, so I can say exactly what will happen. But at the moment, for sure, I think it will be a bit more than 70, because Borussia Dortmund are right when they say, okay, we have a top player, we want to sell him at the right price. At the same moment, I think are right also Manchester United when they say, okay, we are in coronavirus summer and we can pay immediately 120 million euros. So they are thinking about this, as you said, and about the dons, about installments. It's so important to understand when Manchester United will pay the player. So how many years they need to pay, and something like this. They propose it 3 years, Borussia Dortmund want 2 years. So they are speaking about really this kind of details. But when you speak about the top player, those are not details. They are so important in this kind of summer with this kind of player. If you speak about a player of 10 million euro, this is never a problem. You sign the player in 2 days, in 3 days. When you speak about a player like Jadon Sancho, 100 million euro, 120 million euro, it becomes complicated to understand when they pay, how much they pay, and that's why it's a complicated deal. But the talks are still on. I want to confirm this, because people say, why Borussia Dortmund said there are not negotiations? I think it's funny, because it's normal. They are playing their game. It's absolutely normal. They are in talks. It's a top deal. So it needs time to understand if Jadon will join Manchester United or not.
There's something that I was thinking about, and I do agree with you on that. I do think that 70 million euro, even I, as a United fan, I would think, as an initial payment, I think we should be looking at around more 80, 90 million euros, because I think he's that quality player. Explain to me, if you can, how the terms have been agreed with the player, but they've not been agreed with the club. Because in England, we would maybe class that as sort of tapping a player up, but Dortmund have obviously been happy for United to agree those terms, which shows that there is quite a progression of the talks, really.
Yes, but I think it's normal. In football today, when you speak about top clubs, it's absolutely normal to find before the agreement with the player and then the agreement with the clubs. It's absolutely normal, but it's not just in Premier League. Also, Italian clubs, Spanish clubs do something like this. For example, when Barcelona signed Milan and Pjanic this summer, they found the agreement with the player in April, and then they had 3 months speaking with Juventus to find the agreement about the swap deal with Arthur. So it's absolutely normal. I think Manchester United were working about Jadon Sancho as a player to have his contract ready. As we told together, since April, since May, they understood the player was ready to join. So this is important when you feel a player wants to start a new chapter. And then in the last week, they found agreement about also the economical part, which is important, but also in the last details, about like Champions League, if you get the Champions League, if you win the Premier League, this kind of bonuses, this kind of add-ons. They found agreement also about all details with Jadon Sancho. So the player is absolutely ready. He would love to join Manchester United. This is not new. It's what we said for many months. So he's just waiting. But he's so respectful. We have to say this, because he's a good guy. He's not going to do a war against Borussia Dortmund to leave the club. And I think this is correct. This is a good way for the player. Because, when Manchester United calls you, it's normal. You can say, okay, I want to leave. I want to destroy everything with the club where I am. Jadon is so respectful. He said, okay, if you find agreement with Manchester United, I go. I'm happy. I love to play with Manchester United. But if they can't find an agreement, I stay here in Borussia Dortmund. I do 1 year more, and then we will see. But in this moment, Manchester United, on the player part, are absolutely ready. So if Manchester United tomorrow or in 10 days or in 20 days, I don't know, will find an agreement with Borussia Dortmund, the player will never be a problem for this kind of deal.
I know you can't give a definitive answer on this. You can only give your opinion. There are Manchester United fans, now that Alexis Sanchez has left, and we've got a number 7 shirt. Tomorrow is the 7th of August. Manchester United sometimes like to hold a shirt number up. But we've also got the 10th of August, which Dortmund have said. Do you think it's likely that Jadon Sancho will be holding up a number 7 shirt tomorrow, or is that just too soon to get it done where we are?
In this moment, in this exact moment, I say no, because at the moment nothing is completed yet. So, but you know, in transfer market, you can never say anything, because in 2 hours everything can change. So you can say tomorrow will not happen this, because in transfer market, really, I saw many things were crazy. So, but in this moment, if I would say, okay, tomorrow Manchester United will announce Jadon Sancho, it's not that the situation. They are still talking. They are still waiting to find the final agreement about details. So we will see. If tonight something will change, I hope for Manchester United fan, but at the moment, still no.
and do you, just a further question on that? The 10th of August has been mentioned a lot by Dortmund. I mean, look, tomorrow may be a little bit of a push to get it. It's very, very soon. But then again, the 10th is only 3 days after that. Do you think that 10th deadline can go past? Do you think Dortmund will allow it to go past then? I mean, from our point of view, we'd be happy to get him in a week or 2. But do you think the 10th could be important?
Yes, I think this is one of the problems, and why we had the Manchester United brief to the press, because it's normal. They don't want to say, okay, we are obliged to do what Borussia Dortmund want. We do the deal when we want and when Borussia Dortmund want. We have to talk, we have to find an agreement. So I think there is no deadline for this kind of deal. It's normal. There is a deadline, but it's not, I don't know how to say, it's not sure when you say, okay, the 10th of August, you have to sell the player. It's not like this. It's just to say, okay, we have to find a replacement. So we, like Borussia Dortmund, we have to find a replacement. So we need to sell the player during August in their mind, but it's not in 3 days, in 2 days. When you go with a top deal, you don't have deadline. You just have to find an agreement, and in its time is absolutely normal. Obviously, you can't sign Jadon Sancho on 20 or 30 of September if Borussia Dortmund hasn't the replacement. So in its time, yes, but I don't think there is a deadline. At the moment, also, who is working at the deal told me no deadline. We are still working, and we are not running to do it tomorrow or in 2 days. When it will be completed, if it will be completed, we will be happy to join Manchester United.
Yeah, we say it's not set in stone in England. So yeah, that's good. One question I did want to ask you, I think without question, if you get to do the tweets, here we go, total agreement between Manchester United and Dortmund, that you must be aware that will be your biggest tweet ever. It's Manchester United, it's Jadon Sancho, the retweets, the likes, everything like that. Have you got that ready in your drafts already? So you just got to click?
No, I don't. I never prepare, because I prefer to feel the moment, you know. I don't like to have something prepared. I don't work like this. I prefer to say, okay, this is the moment. I want to write what I feel, to put what I feel. So I prefer to wait. But yes, for sure, it will be the most important tweet, I think, of my story on Twitter. And I hope, because I'm talking about this deal as you do since many months. So, you know, it's similar to Bruno. It's similar to many deals for Manchester United who work in this kind of deals. So it needs time. But I don't know if I will do it, because it depends by the clubs, not by me. But if I do, I'm sure it will be a bomb on Twitter. I know, and I like for fans buzzing. This is for Manchester United, but also for other clubs. I feel when the people are happy for a top player are joining their club. So let's see.
Well, for us as Manchester United fans, it's going to be fantastic when it happens. But you do put a lot of work in, Fabrizio, and I think, you know, when you do that tweet, it's got to be an exciting thing for you, because this is the work you do. And
yes.
I think I've always been very confident that this transfer will happen. I don't know about you, and it's only opinion, but I've always said I'm around 90%, because I don't think Manchester United can walk away from this. I think it's such a big deal that they would, to walk away because of 10 million euro. I think it will definitely happen.
This is a good question to do, because I don't reflect about what I think. I reflect about what they tell me, and who is working at the deal. Really, since many weeks, and also in the last days, they are still confident. They are saying, okay, we are working all day to find the agreement. We are ready. We are working. So it's normal. They are doing their game, as the clubs do. And also, I felt the confidence of who's working at the deal. But you need to find an agreement. This is important, because when you go on top deals, it's different than when you go to sign a player like 10 million euro, or 20 million euro, or 30 million euro. When you go with the top deal, with this kind of deal in this summer, and this is a crazy summer, after the virus, to see a top club spending 120 million euro for just one player is something big. I think a good news for Manchester United if they sign Sancho, not just because they sign a top player, but also because they say, okay, we are ready to spend again, to try to be back at top level, to win where Manchester United deserve to be. So I think this is the message that Manchester United want to give. And if they want to give this message, they must sign Jadon Sancho. They can go on another option, because it will say, okay, I worked on Sancho for 6 months, now I go on another player. I think Manchester United will try again for Sancho, but I repeat, the agreement is not totally completed yet. So it's also, I don't know how to say, it's also understandable that Borussia Dortmund can say, okay, if we want to sell this kind of player, we need the money. And because he's right, he's a fantastic player and you have to pay.
Yeah, and they've got a good history of that, Dortmund, of getting the money that they want.
Yes.
Let's move on from Sancho and just summarise some of the other things that you may be able to sort of give us an update on. Jesse Lingard is represented by Mino Raiola. Scored a goal last night for Manchester United. Some Manchester United fans felt that he looked a little bit sad at the end, that it might have been his last goal at Old Trafford. Have you heard anything around Jesse Lingard, maybe to Italy? I know that we've had a lot of United players going to Italy.
At the moment, no. At the moment, no. About Manchester United players, no. I am also curious. You said this of Lingard can be an opportunity for Italian clubs, for sure, because many Italian clubs have a good relationship with Mino Raiola. So for sure, I think about, for example, Roma, or for example, these kind of clubs can speak with Raiola of this opportunity. But at the moment, I don't have news about an advanced talks for Lingard to Italy. I'm also curious to see what would happen with Diogo Dalot. I love this kind of player, and I think it could be an opportunity, for example, on loan for other clubs. I don't know if in Italy, if in Premier League, but Manchester United has many players that can be interesting, like loans, or to sell, like Jesse Lingard, for sure.
Yeah, Dalot didn't even get on the bench yesterday, so I think he's definitely moving somewhere. Another player, I mean, look, we have a little bit of, well, we don't have a rivalry with Arsenal, but they try to have a rivalry with us. Apparently, Gabriel is a player that's going to choose Arsenal over Manchester United. I saw Corriere dello Sport saying today that Everton were quite close. I think United may well have been in talks with the agent, but not the club. What's the latest you can tell us about Gabriel, the little centre-back?
It's really a complicated and particular situation, the Gabriel one, because he has different agents. It's not just one. So it's a complicated situation because I try to explain to you. Napoli are so interested in Gabriel, but they will go for him just if they sell Koulibaly. So they are waiting to see if someone will make a bid for Koulibaly, if Manchester City will be back on him after signing Ake. So Napoli are waiting, but they spoke with the player, and they also spoke with Lille because they found an agreement to sign Osimhen from Lille. So they have a good relationship between clubs. So Napoli are on the player. Arsenal have started talks with Lille for Gabriel Magalhaes. So they have made an inquiry, but I'm not told, okay, that the deal with Arsenal is done. At the moment, not yet. They are in talks, as Napoli are, but as I told you, it depends about Koulibaly. Manchester United have had contacts with the agents and not yet with Lille. So it's a complicated situation, as I told you, because he has many agents. Someone is working with some clubs, the other with another club. So it's a complicated situation, but Manchester United are interested in this moment. I think he's not the first option in this moment. By seeing how they are working on this kind of deal, I think it's normal. When you're working about Sancho, you say, okay, we concentrate about Sancho, then we will see if Gabriel will be on the market. It's possible we will go. We started talks with the agents, but they have not started talks with Lille. So at the moment, Arsenal are working with Lille, but don't have an agreement, not with the player and no with Lille. So it needs time, I think. Some days more to understand if Napoli will be back in the race, if they sell Koulibaly, if Manchester United will make a bid also to Lille and not just speaking with the player. Arsenal are on the player, but nothing has been decided at the moment.
I'd take it Koulibaly. I wouldn't expect Manchester United to be in that race with the money we're going to have to spend on Sancho, and Napoli seem to want quite a lot of money. So
yes,
I would imagine he may well end up staying at Napoli. I mean, he's spoken about maybe spending the rest of his career there if they give him a new contract.
Yes, Koulibaly is a really good player, but they ask 90 million euro to sell Koulibaly. I think this summer to see him in Premier League is just related to Manchester City. If they decide, okay, we can go to sign another centre-back after, okay, here's an opportunity. But at the moment, it's not easy to put 90 million euro. If you get Sancho in the Manchester United case, and to sign also Koulibaly would be, in this moment, difficult. Gabriel is cheaper option. Is around 30 million euro, I think, and he's really a good player. I like him, so it will be a good opportunity. Yes, it's not Koulibaly, it's normal, but he's so young, so he needs time, and he's a good potential, I think.
One player, I don't know whether you've heard anything about him. We certainly, Manchester United fans again will be saying, "Can you ask about it?" Is a player that I really did expect to be leaving Ajax. We've been linked to Jack Grealish, but Donny van der Beek seems to be very quiet around him. Is there anything in the sort of European transfer window about Van der Beek leaving Ajax? Because 40 million euros or 45 million euros seems a very reasonable price for a young player of that quality.
I totally agree with you. I love this player. Van der Beek is a fantastic player and fantastic midfielder, so I agree with you. But at the moment, I saw people speaking about this kind of deal for Manchester United for many weeks. Now a bit more, a bit less, because we have the Sancho deal who's out. But about Van der Beek, they spoke for many weeks. And what I've been told is, okay, we like this player. He's a good player for sure. I think every club in the world like Van der Beek, but at the moment, no one made an important bid to sign him. So also Manchester United didn't make a bid at the moment to sign the player, not even votes and talks. I think he's an option. But the transfer market this summer is so particular. So the top clubs are concentrating on a top deal. For Manchester United, obviously, is Jadon Sancho. Then they will decide, okay, if we get Sancho, it's possible we will get on cheaper options about other players, as we told about the centre back, and the same for Van der Beek. We have to wait for this deal, I think, because, for example, Chelsea with Havertz, Manchester United with Jadon Sancho, they are concentrating on top players now, and then they will decide, okay, if we sign him, we have to change something on the other targets for sure.
And this is just a story from Portugal about Telles, the left back. Have you heard anything around that? And I know Chelsea and Manchester United have been linked.
At the moment, no. At the moment, no. With Manchester United, no. He was an option for Chelsea, but now is a bit quiet because they are considering, Sergio Reguilón. They are considering also the opportunity of Chilwell. He is the main target for Chelsea. They also have Tagliafico from Ajax, who is another option. They have a list for Chelsea, but it's the same situation with Manchester United with Sancho. If they sign Havertz, okay, they have to decide for a cheaper option. If they don't, okay, it's possible they will go for Chilwell because he costs so much. So at the moment for Manchester United with Alex Telles, there is nothing advanced. It could be an option because his agents are offering him to the top clubs, and I think it's a good left back, but at the moment it's not advanced yet.
When we spoke last time, we spoke about Paul Pogba, and Juventus were going to have that chat with Mino Raiola. Well, Mino Raiola was going to have a chat with United at the start of April, but obviously had COVID. This Pogba now, do you think there is a chance that he will stay long-term at Manchester United, or do you think that it may just be wait a year, maybe like some clubs will have to?
I think something has changed between Manchester United and Paul Pogba in a positive way, because I remember when I was speaking with Pogba award in December and in January, and he was thinking to join Juventus, to leave the club, to have a new chapter of his career. Then something that's changing because, for Pogba, it's so important to play Champions League. He wants to play Champions League. He wants to play at top level, and to see Manchester United back in Champions League is something so important for Paul Pogba. So in this moment, I think he's confident to stay. He wants to stay, also because the virus changed the transfer market. So in this moment, it's impossible to see Juventus to arrive in Manchester and offering 100 million euro for Paul Pogba. So I think it's absolutely normal that the situation has changed, but that Paul Pogba wants to stay to Manchester United. I think Manchester United in the last 6 months, signing Bruno and to see the progress on the pitch has changed it so much in a positive way. And this is important also to keep players, not just to buy for the case like Sancho, but also to keep important players like Paul. And he feels in a top club of also like mentality, because Manchester United will always be a top club also if they will not be in Champions League for some years. But now the mentality is a Champions League level, is a top level. And you feel it when you see the clubs working for Sancho, the club are signing players like Bruno. So he's happy now. I think Paul is absolutely happy and he wants to stay. So soon they will start to speak with Mino Raiola from Manchester United to try to find an agreement on a new contract, because Paul wants to stay. Then you have to sit with Raiola, you have to find an economical agreement. And as I told you last time, when you speak with Mino Raiola, it's never easy to get an agreement. It's the same what's happening here with AC Milan for Ibrahimovic. The player wants to stay, the Milan wants the player stay, but when you say to Raiola, okay, it's never easy.
Yeah, and Fabrizio, I know you've got to go because you're so busy, but just the last little bit. How do you do? I mean, do you absolutely love what you do? Because you are, as I said at the start, you are relentless. You reply to so many people. Like there'll be a tweet by somebody who really isn't got many followers, and that's great because you'll reply to them and say thank you, or you'll reply to them. You don't necessarily tweet an update about Sancho, but somebody will tweet something and then you'll put the update in the reply. It is, you must get no sleep, but you just must be on the phone all the time. Just give us a little glimpse of what it's like to live the Fabrizio Romano life at the moment.
He's always at the phone. Absolutely, yes. He's always sending messages, having calls, trying to understand what is happening. Everything can change minute by minute. So it's exciting for me. I know that if you say this to another person who has another style of life, they say, okay, you are crazy. I will never do something like this. Some of my friends, they say, okay, why you do this? You are crazy. But I love it. I don't feel I'm working. I feel I'm happy to do what I'm doing. It's not just like a job or work. I'm just enjoying. And when you say you reply also to normal people or to normal fans, I'm just happy to do is because I don't want to be too much formal to say like, if I am a paper or a TV, I have to give news or something like this. I like to be part of the game, as I told you last time, also speaking with the people, also to make fans understand what is happening, because many times fans have the news from the TV, also from Sky, I speak, where I work, from the TV, from the papers, and it's not easy to follow the story completely every day. Also, when you speak about top deals like Jadon Sancho one, but many also for other clubs, it's never easy to follow everything. And I try to help them to understand what is happening and to make them understand it's impossible to have an update every day, every hour, because when you speak about top deals, it needs time. So it's absolutely normal. But I want the people to feel, okay, you are here, we can ask you, and you are not a superstar who you're not going to answer. I'm here for you. I work for you, and thanks to you. So fans are the most important part of my work, because if I wouldn't have fans on social media or something like this, I would never do this job, because I don't feel excited. If I give the news just to the paper or the TV, it's not exciting. I want to give the news for the people, because people are the fans, and I am a football fan too, so I know what's the feeling when you see a top player joining your club, but not just a top player. When you see a transfer news, you feel something special, and I love to feel people happy when they have news. This is my idea, and I will always be like this. For sure.
I remember saying it last time. I mean, look, we do the United Stand. It started from nothing, and we've always just been about interacting with the fans, and this is why we do it. And it's great to have the #1 journalist who actually is that way as well. You do it for the fans, and you do interact with the fans, and it's fantastic that you are. You know, this world has opened up. You know, 5 years ago we didn't do the United Stand. 5 years ago you probably weren't that well known, and here we, you're so close to 1 million. On Twitter as well. I'm sure you'll get it as soon as that "here we go" Jadon Sancho tweet comes as well. But I know you're busy. So we'll end it there. But thank you so much for coming on, Fabrizio, and giving us an update on everything again.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you again. It's a big pleasure to be with you, and thanks as always. It's a big pleasure, and keep up the good work, because you are doing a fantastic work, and it will be a long summer, so we need to be strong, but it will be funny for sure. Thank you.
Okay.